Hey, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Tech Conversations. I am your host Guillermo. It is August 30th. Hope you're all having a great day today. Let me know in the comment section below how you guys are doing today in the market. Now in today's video, I want to talk about making money on Webull by using the put credit spread, also known as the bull put spread. So before I get into this strategy, all I ask is that you guys hit the like button down below and subscribe, guys. It really helps out the channel. Before you ever enter any options trade, make sure that you know how to close it. Never go into a trade and not know how to exit before the expiration date, because again, most of the time you're going to want to close out before the expiration date. So make sure you know that. And if you haven't signed up to Webull, I highly recommend it. Link to it is in the description below. You will get 2 free stocks when you sign up, valued up to $2,000 by using that link. I like Webull, 0 commissions, offers extended hours trading, meaning you can trade between 4 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Eastern time and 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time. So basically you can get into a stock before the rest of the crowd the following market day, especially if like some sort of news comes out after hours or before hours. I also think it's also great having multiple brokers, right? Sometimes a broker has technical difficulties and you can't trade on it. So if you have multiple different ones, you can definitely go on a separate one for a short time. You can also have more day trades, of course, as well, especially if you don't have that, $25,000 for unlimited day trades. You can have more day trades by having more brokers. So anyways, that's what I wanted to say there. Now, when it comes to these strategies, guys, you do need to have a margin account. And it took me about 3 weeks to switch from a cash account to a margin account on Webull. And the reason you're going to want a margin account is because you need level 3 options for credit spreads, debit spreads, butterfly spreads, condors, all that stuff. And the only way you can have level 3 is if you have a margin account, and you can see the graph here, right? If you have level 3, none of these will be available with a cash account. You need a margin account for level 3 options. So I did want to mention that because I know I'll get asked this question a lot if I don't. So now let's get into this video. So I am using Webull's desktop app for this, guys. And again, you can just go to their website, go to download, and you'll have an option here to download their desktop app. They have, of course, Windows, they have Mac, and all this other stuff. So let's go over to that here. So here is the Webull desktop app. So this is what I'm going to be showing you guys this demo on. So very first thing we want to do here, right now we're on the watch list tab. We want to go over to the stocks tab, okay? So I'm going to click on the stocks tab, and so this is what this is going to show me here. Now, I want to go and, of course, first pick out the stock that I want to use this strategy on. And so for today's demo, I'm just going to use ticker symbol BA. So that's going to be Boeing. And again, keep in mind what I'm about to show you here is just an example, okay? This isn't a trade that you should enter. This is just me showing you guys how you would set this up by just showing you guys an example and using Boeing as a stock here for today. So we're currently in the options, right? So keep in mind there's a bunch of other information here. So you do want to make sure that you're on the options, because if, for example, you're on the chart, you're not going to be able to see them. So you do need to go and click on options here. So this is going to show you the options for the stock. And again, the stock we're currently on is Boeing. Now, the next thing that we want to do here, so we want to choose an expiration date for this strategy. So the way expiration dates work here on Webull is you basically need to, this is like collapsible, okay? And you can kind of see that with this little arrow here. So you can click on that and this will collapse it. You click on it, it expands it. But when you collapse it, you can see that the other expiration dates are in here as well. So they all have their kind of own collapsible, expandable section here. And so I'd like to keep them all collapsed except the one I'm looking in, or else you're going to get very confused and you might end up choosing the wrong expiration date. So I'm just going to leave my expiration date as September 3rd of 2021. So I'm going to do that. The other thing I like to do is, as you see here, first of all, there's a lot of options here. I mean, it goes from, strike price of 125 all the way to strike price of 320. It gets very confusing. So what I like to do is I want to click here, and I like to kind of just get it to only 10 or 20 options showing, so that it's a lot less confusing here, right? So you can kind of see it better. So I'm going to choose 10 there just to show me 10 options here. The other thing I like to do is I do like to order this this way so that the highest strikes are on top and then it goes down as we go down. So this is what Robinhood looks like, so I'm more comfortable with it this way. Now, the other thing we want to do here is, since we are talking about the put credit spread, the bull put spread, is we only care about put options here. And again, I don't want people to get confused here and do calls instead of puts. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on puts. This way, this will only show me the puts here. Okay, so now we're in a better position to get into this strategy and again, not cause any confusion or accidentally get into a different trade. The last thing, of course, you want to do is you want to click on this drop down here where you see single, and you're going to want to click on vertical. So remember, a vertical spread basically is just an options trading strategy that involves buying and selling multiple options of the same stock, same expiration date, but different strikes. Okay, so when you click here, you're not going to see debit spread, you're not going to see credit spreads. It's going to be vertical spread because those both fall under vertical spreads. Again, it's just a strategy that involves buying and selling multiple options on the same stock. They're going to have the same expiration, but just different strikes. So here we are now. Okay, now let's get into this. So the first thing we need to do, of course, is talk a little bit about how a put credit spread works, right? So a put credit spread is a bullish strategy, and it's very similar to selling a put. So you start by selling a put, basically, but instead of having enough money to potentially, to put up as collateral to potentially buy 100 shares, you buy a put at a lower strike instead. And that protects you from needing the collateral versus just selling a put, a cash secured put, and having to put up collateral and potentially buy 100 shares. So in other words, it makes it a lot more affordable. It makes it a lot cheaper, right? And so basically what we want to do here is we want to determine what price we think Boeing will be above by the expiration date. So let's say I think that Boeing will be above 215 by the expiration date, right? I would want to sell my put at that strike. And then I would go ahead and buy a put with a lower strike from that. And so keep in mind, guys, you can change the width of the legs that you're seeing here. So I think normally it's going to be on auto, but you can click on here to say, for example, you want a $5 width on the legs. You want, $10 width on the strikes here. So I'm going to leave it as 2.5 because I'm going to choose this one right here. So again, basically what's happening here is I think Boeing will be above 215 by the expiration date. So I'm going to sell my put at the 215 strike. And then you want to buy a put at a lower strike. And I'm going to buy that put at the 212.50 strike. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this. And this is going to show me this widget here that's going to pop up here. Now, a couple of things we need to do here. Number one, it seems like the default quantity for this is always 10. So you want to make sure that you change that unless you want to get into 10 trades here. But I'm guessing most people most of the time will only want, 1 or 2. So you do need to change that to 1 so that we only have 1 here. The other thing, of course, is that since this is a credit spread, right, we're selling it. Right? To get credit, most of the time you have to sell options. But this right now says buy. So we want to switch this to sell. And you just do that by clicking on it, right? If you click on it, it'll change. So you want this to be sell because we want to sell this and get a credit for it. And now we take a look here. Everything looks correct. So this is a vertical spread. And you can still change this here, by the way, if you want. The strikes that we were choosing, 215, that's where I wanted to sell my put. And that's what this is showing, right? Selling a put at the 215 strike on Boeing, expiring September 3rd. And then we want to buy or put right under it, 212.15. So buying a put, 212.15, expiring September 3rd. And again, you can still change this here if you want, but that looks good to me. And then, of course, again, we only want 1. You can change it. If you want more, you can certainly change it. But again, most people will want 1. I think this defaults to 10, so be careful with that. And then, of course, we can make this either a limit order or a market order. I definitely do not suggest using market, okay, because you can get a very bad fill and almost instantly be down a lot of money if you do that. So you should always stick to limit. You get a lot better control over, how much credit or what's the least amount of credit you're willing to receive here to enter it. What's the most amount you're willing to pay to enter a trade. So again, I always encourage you to use limit here. And then of course, now that this looks good here, we still want to look at a couple of more things, right? So we can click on this this arrow here. So this is going to tell me that I'm getting a premium here. I'm getting a credit of $47. Okay, that makes sense for a put credit spread. Tells me my day trades left, unlimited. Tells me what my max loss will be. So my max loss will be $203 right here. Tells me what my max profit's going to be, $47. And again, that makes sense. In a put credit spread, remember, the most you're going to make is the credit you receive. We're receiving $47 of credit. We should expect our max profit to be 47. Also remember, if you want to figure out what your max loss is, the quick way you can do that is you subtract the strikes, right? 215 minus 212.50, that's 250. Multiply that by 100, that's going to be $250, and subtract the credit. So 250 minus 47 is 203. That's our max loss. So again, we know that this makes sense. We're entering this correctly. Now, the other thing you can also take a look at here is if you come down here, you can go to the graph, and you can actually see a graph for this. Visually see, what your profit losses will be on the expiration date, depending on where Boeing is at, what the price of Boeing is. So for example, if on the expiration, Boeing's at $215.44, this is telling me my profit is 47 bucks. However, if on the expiration, Boeing's at $213.10, this is telling me that my loss is $143. So again, it's kind of neat here to take a look at. We're going to use the option strat either way, but this just quickly allows you to take a look at, kind of how this is going to look like visually. And again, you can also have the other things here that we just talked about. You can change them on this panel as well. So ultimately, once you have all that set up, you would go ahead and you would place your trade here. This is my IRA account, which I haven't even opened, so it doesn't give me that option. But there would be an option here to just, place your trade here. So that's how you would set up a put credit spread on Webull. Now, again, I encourage you guys to always go to option strat to visually see what this trade will look like. And so that's what I want to quickly do here. So let's go to option strat. I'm going to go to build. Again, this is the put credit spread, also known as the bull put spread, which is right here. And let's take a look here at this exact trade we just built. So BA for Boeing. Again, we chose the expiration date, September 3rd. We started by selling our put at the 215 strike because, again, remember, our goal is for on the expiration date, Boeing to be at 215 or higher. And then we body put with a lower strike, and we had chosen the 212.50. So this is what that looks like, okay? So again, we're getting a credit of about $49, max loss being about $201, max profit being about $49. And so this is what this trade would look like here. And again, what you want to happen on the expiration is for, the stock to be at, at above the strike of the put that we sold, okay? So anyways, this is what this looks like, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Check out the Discord, link to it in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time.